My dream is to free all business owners worldwide from the daily operations of running their business. And to do that, we developed Systemology. It's a 7-step process. That's what we're going to work through today. Each session will address one of these different points. Each of these sessions has different tools and activities. The aim of the game is to extract you out of the process as quickly as possible if you're a business owner. I really only want you involved in steps 1 and 2 if you're a business owner. Beyond that point, when it comes to implementation, it really should be handled by your integrator or your CEO, operations manager. That the business owner has this habit of getting their hands over everything, and oftentimes they end up making a mess of things. And the reason a lot of people have no time is because they don't have systems and processes in place. And because they recognise systems are important but not urgent, they never find time to create those systems. You'll never get around to it. There's never going to be enough time in the day for you as the business owner to be creating systems and processes. So if you're the problem that got you to this point where you're across everything, what makes you think that you're also going to be the solution to get you out of that? You're much better off handing that off to someone else, breaking that habit of feeling you need to do everything and let someone else drive this. Your business is already successful, that's why you're in this room. You're already delivering product and service, you're already getting results from clients. Let's just capture what you're doing, systemise that, and then introduce it to the team. So the steps that we'll go through, the first one, step number 1, is the define stage. We have to identify what the critical client flow is, or I call it the CCF. The myth is, when you're systemising, that you're going to need hundreds of systems. But chances are, you might only need 15 to 20 systems that are going to give the biggest leverage point. So we need a way to be able to identify just the most important systems required for the delivery of your product and service. That's what we'll do first. Then we move through to the assign stage. We need to get clear who on the team has the knowledge that we need to extract out of their head. Who knows how to do it? And preferably, get the business owner out of that process as quickly as possible as well. If you can extract the knowledge out of your team members, this will move a lot quicker and be a lot easier for you to do. The myth here is that the business owner needs to be involved. I want to bust, at step number 2, we want to bust that the business owner needs to be involved. Typically, they are the worst person in the organisation to be creating systems and processes and doing documentation. At least if you've not got anything in place. Once you get established and you're a bit more going and you find your meeting rhythm and you start to problem solve and create systems and things like that, then yes. But initially, if you've got not much in place, you're the worst person to be doing it. You're too time poor. Then we move into step number 3, which is to extract. How do we get that knowledge out of someone's head? How do we do it quickly? How do we do it easily, most cost effectively? I think the biggest myth here that I want to bust is people think we're too busy to create systems. They're too busy, their staff's too busy, they'll never get around to it. So in step number 3, I want to show you, we actually split the extraction role into 2. There's the knowledgeable worker who now knows how to do the thing in your business that will get recorded, but then there's the documenter. And you record them doing it, ScreenFlow, iPhone, GoPro, whatever, record the task getting done. It goes off to a documenter. Documenter does first version because everybody loves to edit. No one loves to start with a blank page. So we just try and make it easy for your team as possible. Because they're not going to have time either. I've seen people try and systemise it and they they try and implement systems and they strong arm it onto the team and they say, look, I don't have time to do it, you're going to do it, and it's part of your role, and if you don't do it, you're going to get fired. But some people aren't made up to want to do systems. Some people don't like documentation. Most people don't like documentation. Some people aren't detail-orientated people. We've got a digital agency and we've got some very creative people on the team. If I went to them and said, can you create some systems? If I talked to July and I said, July, can you help write a system for the way that you create graphics? It would sit in our Asana, the project management platform, probably for the next 6 months. It wouldn't get done because she's more creative. She's not a detail-orientated person. So we need to think about how to make that easy. Then we move to organise. And organise is all about how do you find the tools to implement this. Once you've identified the systems, captured them. What are the tools to then get the team to be able to follow this? And there's two main ones that you need. Project management software. Who uses a project management software? Like Asana, Podio, Basecamp, Trello, anything like that? That's one software. The other one that you need is an SOP management system, something to actually house the standard operating procedures, and we'll talk a little bit about that. The key for this step, and the myth I want to bust, is that systems need to be complex. Complexity is actually the enemy of systems. So we want to look at how do we make this as simple as possible. Step number 5 is the integrate stage. At this point, you've captured all of your most important systems, and now we need to get the team on board. Because I hear this all the time. People go, my team is too creative to follow systems, or you can't systemize my job, or even if I create systems, you're not going to follow them anyway, so what's the point of creating them? I hear this all the time, and it's flawed thinking, and it's what's holding you back. It's just another mental roadblock. We need to blast through that one so that you can start to create a systems culture in your business and get people to resonate with that culture so they all start marching to the same beat of the drum. The biggest resistance you are going to have is from your existing staff. When you hire new staff and they get inducted into the business and they follow a process for induction, that's all they ever know. They just go, oh, that's just the way things are done here. It's much easier for them early on to self-select them out. Oh, this isn't right for me. And you find the people that are the right fit. Then we move to scale, step number 6. And in the critical client flow, one of the first activities that we'll do, we'll identify the critical systems required for the delivery of our product and service, but then there are going to be systems outside of that. Once we get through that, we have to go, what other systems would be required for scale? We need a system to find staff, hire them, onboard them, train them. We need some systems around finances. We need to think about how we're paying wages and how we're, accounts receivable, accounts payable. We need to think about how we're submitting our BAS, those sorts of things, how we're preparing our monthly P&L. So we'll just talk about those systems that are required to scale the business, and I want to give you a framework then on how to solve problems beyond that. Once we get to that level, I can't just say, here are the 100 systems or the 50 systems that you have to deploy in your business, because it'll depend on your business. It'll depend on what problems you've got going on. So we just need a method to catch those problems and then how to create systems-based solutions. And then the final stage is the optimise phase. And I think most people approach this way too early. This stunts systemisation of a business no end. They look at McDonald's, they think that's what they need to do. And then when they're creating systems, they're trying to make it just perfect. They try and re-engineer the system at the base level when you're trying to put it into place. But the problem is that just becomes another reason why you don't get it done. You're much better off just capture what you're doing now. That becomes the system. Even if it's not perfect, just capture it. Because then what does that do? That gives you a baseline now. Now at least everybody is following to the same beat of the drum. That means when you look at your dashboard or your scorecard and you're looking at your numbers, they mean something because everybody's following things consistently. Now, we can actually go ahead and begin the optimization process, because optimization is all about improvement. We need to know the baseline to know when we're split testing something, are we getting an improvement off that baseline? So that's what we'll go through in step number 7.